feel like I should push in a little bit further. Yeah. And move over. There you go.
Jellicle cats come out tonight. Jellicle cats.
Let's talk about Cats 2019. Yeah. Hi, my name is Kaylin and I'm a furry. That's out of the way. We can move on with the video, can't we? Now, I only say I'm a furry because that's what everyone's gonna say about Cats fans after seeing this movie. And that's what everyone's been saying about Cats fans since, like, Cats became a thing. Which was a long time ago. So, I've been a fan since I was, like, in diapers. The film, the 98 film came out when I was 3, and my parents bought it for me, like, nearly immediately. And I've been in love with it ever since. I'm too close to the camera. That's better. I have now seen Cats 3 times live, twice in the US and once in Vienna, Austria, and I'm going to see it 2 more times in July in Vienna, Austria before the show closes. I have watched the 98 film probably 6,000 times, so I'm kind of a fan. When I heard that they were making a Cats movie, I wasn't excited. Because not only am I a musical fan and a Cats fan, but I'm also, like, into filmmaking and, like, went to school for filmmaking, and I'm not really a big fan of Hollywood, honestly. So yeah, I wasn't super excited to see what Hollywood was going to do with the musical. I mean, it's something that's been in my life for a long time and something that's really close to my heart, as you can tell. So I was worried. A lot of fans were worried, and when we brought the first clips of how it was gonna look, I thought this was going to be a much different video, because I have been very critical of everything I've seen come out of the movie since we first got a glimpse of it. I've been very critical of everything to do with the movie, from the casting, to the design, to the set, to how the music was sounding, to the inclusion of Taylor Swift, to the introduction of a new song, and the more information that I got from the movie, the more fearful I became. Like, I was having a panic attack last night, when I'll get to that in a second. But I just went and saw Cats 2019 in theaters at 9:30. I was one of 3 people in the theater. 2 of them blatantly did not know what was going on and left before the film ended. And I really, really liked it. I feel really, really strange saying that I liked this movie, because I was very prepared to come home tonight, drink a bottle of wine, and scream about it for like an hour and a half into my camera. And I do have some things to say. But overall, I liked it. First of all, before I get into the nitty-gritty of it, I first want to say that, as I've already stated, I was very negative about this film. And I was in a bubble, basically, but I recently got invited and involved in the Discord group for Cats fans on Tumblr. Hi, Junkyard. And talking to other fans and, like, hearing their opinions and their feelings and thoughts really kind of got me out of my own head and made me be more open to things, because I'm a very critical person and I really love Cats. And I really love a lot of things, and so I tend to be really, really harsh. And talking to all the amazing artists and the amazing fans and people and cosplayers who are in this group just kind of put me at ease, and it's been a source of joy in my life lately. So I just want to say, like, thank you so much to you guys, because I very rarely find solace in groups. I'm not an outgoing person. I'm not someone who like goes out into the world and hangs out with people and like just talks to people randomly. I'm not that person. But you guys have made me feel at home really fast, and I get to like see your reactions and like see your beautiful faces and see your amazing art and get reactions to like my fanfic, and I get to see people like Magic Cat Jenny, who I've seen on and off in the fandom since I was like a tween, because I've been watching the Cats fandom online for a really long time and I've never gotten involved with it until now. So thank you guys so much. You are beautiful and I love you, and thank you for making me a part of the tribe, because it's really, really special. It really is. Anyway, now that I've stopped being mushy and disgusting, let's get on to me talking about the film. And I'm slouching and I'm really sorry, but it's not gonna change. You are more than welcome to disagree with me and tell me you disagree with me. You are more than welcome to different opinions, to have different thoughts and feelings. I'm not here to tell you how to feel about this movie or about cats in general. I mean, I understand it's kind of a strange beast to digest. And I understand that, and I'm not telling you have to love cats at all. I'm not telling you that you have to love this movie. I'm not telling you you have to hate the movie. I'm not telling you you have to agree with me at all. My opinions are my opinions, and your opinions are your opinions, and we are allowed to disagree. Just because you don't change your opinions to match my opinions, and I don't change my opinions to match your opinions, doesn't mean that either of us is in the wrong. We are free to disagree. This is about a movie musical that's an adaptation of Cats, not human rights. We can disagree and be fine. It's not the end of the world. Okay? Okay. So my first question I wrote down is, do I like this film as just a film? Not relating it to like my love of cats or my opinions of cats or my emotional connection to it or as anything else, not comparing it to the 2016 revival, to the West End performances, to the Vienna production going on right now, to the 98 film. None of that. Not like compared to any of that. Did I like it as a film? Yeah, it was good. That was such a bad way to deliver that. Hold on. It was a good film. It was easy to follow because they filled in the gaps where things in the musical kind of get hazy. And it can kind of break you out of the moment, but the concept of cats is very odd. I don't know how to describe it. It's vague. It's not super deep. There's not like a big overarching plot. No one dies. No one has cancer. Like it's not anything that big. It's just every year this tribe of cats picks one of their own to have a new life and be reborn, and they're auditioning to see who's gonna get that. Like, that's it. There's an evil bad cat who wants to like stop it. That's it. So they kind of did fill in the gaps where people who didn't know the musical would have been a little confused. That was good. As a film, it was okay. There was some sound design stuff that I didn't like. They included a lot of breathing and like back and like movement noises like in the dancing bits and like in general that I didn't think needed to be there. Like, I get if you're trying to go for immersion and trying to make it realistic, because there's just a lot of dancing, then it makes sense, but like it kind of takes you out of the moment and I don't think it's necessary. But that was really it for that. This is me really trying not to relate to cats. The CGI is weird. It's not as bad as it was when we first saw clips of it, because they have fixed it a lot. And I did not notice any lag, because I heard rumors that there was lag in CGI. I did not notice any lag, so maybe they fixed that before it went for like actual release and not just like pre-release. The CGI was weird. I feel like you shouldn't have been able to see so much of like the muscle movement. I don't mind seeing their bodies like at all. Like that's fine. But like I feel like it shouldn't have been as close as it was, and the faces are fine. Because I think if you had done like a nose on them or anything, it would have become too kitschy. But the big issue I had was the ears. I feel like they were too close together up top. They were too centered. And they were not big enough. Like, they were probably going for realism, but I think if they would have just made them a little bit bigger and wider set, then it would have looked a lot nicer. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that's the one thing about CGI that really, really bothered me. The human faces are still kind of weird. There should have been more, not like noses or like more makeup, like more eye makeup. Like some of the characters, the girls mostly, had like cat eye and like inner corner shading, and I feel like that worked a lot better than on the characters where it was just very blatantly like human skin. So there's that. It worked as a film. The ending felt weird through the dressing of cats. And it probably feels weirder to me because that's the end of the show. But there's a clip after that that kind of like ties it together. And overall, the plot made sense. The climax was anticlimactic. Like it wasn't built up at all. It was just very like, here it happened, like, fun. Which in the show, it's kind of the same way. We're like, oh, here it's happening. Like, oh, look, this is happening. Isn't it neat? Like, oh, look, the problem's solved. But like, I think it's because of the way that they presented the song Mr. Mistopheles was much more subdued and nervous in tone than the one in the show, because in the show that song is a spectacle, and because of it being so spectacular and it being sung the way it's sung and the way that Deuteronomy is revealed in the show, it makes itself a climax. It's a showstopper. So I feel like changing it the way they did made the climax of the movie feel empty. Like, I felt like you know, like usually in a climax of a film, you kind of like get the buildup of something's going to happen. And then you get the climax and the resolution, and then you're like, oh god, thank god. But this didn't have that. It was kind of, instead of being like this, it just kind of went, which wasn't great. The Jellicle Ball was honestly the climax of the film. Like it, which is not even like the climax of the show. It's just like a big dance portion of the show. But that was honestly, that felt like the climax, and it wasn't. So it was really strange. I don't know why they chose to do that, because they didn't have to. But otherwise, the film works as a film. I don't think people are going to understand it or like it. I don't think it's for mass audiences like they're trying to make it be. But it was a good film. It worked as a film. It worked as a coherent piece of cinematography. The next thing I had written down was, do I like it as a Cats film? And I really, really thought my answer to this was going to be no. And I'm going to tie in something I had later to talk about to this, because it made me mad at the time. But now, thinking about it, yeah, it makes sense, because someone said to me, like, I see it as an AU, and I was like, no, it's not an AU. They've changed it, they've ruined it. It's horrible, and it's ruining my thing. People are gonna hate Cats all over again, and people are gonna hate us, and da-da-da-da-da-da. But, which is true. People are hating on the movie and hating on Cats fans, but you know what? I've dealt with that for 24 years, might as well deal with some more. So, it's Cats. I was really scared because when they released the preview for the soundtrack, there was a lot of songs missing. And I was like, oh, it's no, they can't do that. But they are only missing a couple of songs. And Peaks of the Follicles is not in it, but they reference Growl Tiger, which makes me really happy because I really like Growl Tiger. I like that performance a lot. I love Peaks and Follicles, and I would have liked to see the manga shop in this do Peaks and Follicles because I think it would have been really fun. But it's not super important to the show, so it's fine. But did I like it as a Cats film? Yeah, I did. Which is something I didn't think I'd be saying, but yeah, it's Cats. I liked it as a Cats film. It is not the Cats we know and love. It is not the characters we know and love. It's almost like, I don't want to say an alternate universe, because yeah, the characters have the same names, and it's the same concept, but they don't feel like the same characters, except for Victoria for some reason. But it's almost like it's like this, like a different tribe. This video sounds so fucking weird to non-Cats fans, I'm sure. It feels like it's not the same group of cats. It feels like it is the tribe, the Jellicles, but in a different time. Macavity feels like Macavity, but it feels like it is just the Jellicles now. Like, if you want to, like, say, like, the original cats were from the 80s, from the 70s or 80s when Cats was a big deal, like that, and that's what their time period, and this is the new time period of the 2019 Cats, and it's not the same cats, but it's the same group, it's the same lineage. That makes sense. Because that's what it feels like. It doesn't, the characters aren't the same characters at all, except for a few. And that makes me feel okay. It's a good interpretation. I mean, we're gonna dislike it because it's not what we know and love, especially people who grew up with the 98 film, because you can't grow up with John Partridge and look at Jason Derulo and be like, oh yes, that's the Tugger I know and love, because he's fucking not at all. You can't grow up with Jacob Brandt as Mistopheles, the king himself. God bless Jacob Brandt. I love you if you're watching this, and you never will, but I love you. You made my childhood great. I've watched you for forever. Like, Jacob Brandt as Mistopheles is nowhere near the Mistopheles in this film. So if you grew up with that, and you've seen the show live, if you've seen Tyler Haynes be Tugger on stage, if you've seen, like, any of the revivals or the new shows, like, if you're like me and you've seen Stephen Martin Allen be Mistopheles, it's not the same. They're not the same people, and that kind of hurts. It feels really, it kind of gives like an empty feeling right here. But you gotta take that, put it over there, and just be like, these are not the same people. I'm ranting. Did it work as a Cats film? Yeah. It got the point across. It was Cats. It was Cats. I'm happy with it. And I'm very critical. So that's the end of that rant. So we're gonna stop waxing poetic and move on to the next question. Singing and dancing wise, the dancing was okay. There were some parts where they really killed it. Skimbleshanks, killed it. Jellicle Ball, killed it. There were some parts where they really tried to modernize it and simplify it. Which, I guess if you've never seen the original, then you wouldn't care. But there's something about the choreography in this that feels very empty compared to the choreography from the more traditional versions of Cats. It's not as there's a lot less life behind it. There's a lot less, like, passion, and it's very simplified. It's super simplified choreography, because how hard would it be to capture, like, the intense breakdowns, the Jellicle Ball, in the entirety on film. So, like, I get it. But some parts were really good. Some parts I really, really liked, and I clapped, like, Monk did, like, a leap at one point, and then I, like, did a pirouette, and I clapped my hands, like, for a second, and I was like, oh shit, like, I'm that person, aren't I? And there were some parts that just didn't work. And I can't pinpoint where it didn't work, because it just didn't work, and I forgot about it immediately because I just moved on. But I really did like, because I noticed that there were some sections of the choreography that were referencing or from the original choreography, like the one that is shown in the '98 film that is done in some performances. It's done in Vienna, and the 2016 revival choreography. They pulled some stuff from those, and that made me really, really happy. And it was kind of like like a little nod moment, being like, I see you, thank you, I appreciate that. As for the singing, I was not a fan of it for some portions. The Jellicle song, Jellicle Cats, the way they sang the beginning of it was really, really, really weird. I'm so glad they did live singing, because when they casted pop stars and, like, people who are, like, singers, like, not, like, theatrical singers who sing professionally for, like, audiences and for, like, radio, I was really scared at how that was gonna sound when singing theater music. But I was really, really surprised, and I'm really glad they did live singing, because I think live singing does a lot to help the tone of the song. The talent for some of them, I'm not gonna name names, and the talent and the way that it sounded was not up to par with live performances of the musical. It's probably just a training thing, or probably just like a practice thing, or they were wanting to be more realistic, but it's underwhelming, to say the least. And that really stood out more when there were parts where they cut the music, and there were parts where they slowed down bits, and where a lot of the chorus parts were that way. Like, some people in this film were very talented, but because of the movement and the dancing and the relatability they're trying to bring to these characters, it kind of dampens some of, like, the talent these people have, I think. And it changes from being a professional person who can sing live and who can be on stage and perform to someone who's just singing on a sound set. And that really, really, really alters the tone of some bits. So I really appreciate that they did live singing. I think that that's very admirable. But I feel like they should have been a little more particular with it. But otherwise, it was really good. Like, the singing was good. I was really surprised at I'm not gonna name actor names because I don't want to fuck it up. But Munkastrap, I was really surprised at how I felt like over the course of the film, he became more confident in his singing. And he was really good. I was really surprised with him. And I was really happy, because I love my gray dad. And Victoria was really, really good. She was very good. Her voice was very sweet, and I was very happy with her, and I was really, really curious as how they were going to make her the lead. Because Victoria's always kind of been a lead character, but she's never been like a lead character. Like, she's never been a vocal lead. But I didn't hate the backstory they wrote in for her at all. And I didn't hate how they portrayed her going through the ball at all. And her singing was really good. It was very sweet, which was really fitting, and I liked it a lot. And I'm gonna stop saying I liked it a lot because that's really unintelligent sounding. One of my biggest issues is how much they changed the characters. And like, they completely just like erase characters, they're chorus cats, some of them, so I understand, and they didn't feel they were important to the plot line, so I get it. But like, some characters' personalities and who they are were so altered or were completely taken away when they are so important to how the show flows that really upset me. The three that really made me really angry are Mistopheles, Bombalurina, and Rum Tugger. Because Tugger was completely erased from importance. Like, completely erased from importance. He had his one song and that's all he had at the end. He is not singing about Deuteronomy with Monk. He is not helping Mistopheles bring old D back. He's not being that like happy fun face that appears. He's not being a leader at all, and he is a leader in the tribe. And they have him have, hello, thank you, can you focus on my face please? They had him have his one song, and then he was just like not important anymore, which makes me so mad because he doesn't deserve that. Tugger deserves better. I'm really angry about that. I didn't expect it to be as bad as it was in the film, and so it really, I'm probably more angry because I wasn't prepared for it. Because I was prepared for what they did to Bombalurina and Mistopheles, because I knew Mistopheles was going to be ruined because the actor called him boring. And Mistopheles is not boring. They made this like prissy, like very playful, like kind of full of himself, like a rascal of a boy, into like this fumbling, bumbling, nervous, like love-struck baby. Like, he's a baby, but like not in the good way. He is not a baby, he is a baby. And like, he completely, like, it just ruined it ruined one of the most beloved characters in the entire show. You will not meet a Cats fan who does not fucking love Mistopheles. Like, what are you doing? Like, these filmmakers are stupid. Like, why would you not make this beautiful, slinky black boy into, like, this amazing, like, gorgeous, like, fantastic, like, cat? Like, why would you not do that? I'm biased, and I know it. You can call me out for it, but like, it was a lost opportunity. It really was. And then like, I'm gonna get bitchy. I was pissed when they cast Taylor Swift to be Bombalurina, because she does not have the range, honey, to be a Bombalurina. She does not have the attitude, the power, the range. She does not have it. And Swifties can come at me for this, because she does not fit that character. She does not have the talent to be that character. End of story. And also, they made her a villain. They made Bomb a villain. Also, Demeter pissed me off, because they erased Demeter. And they made Bomb the sidekick to Macavity, which makes no sense. And they made her, like, evil. And I'm mad about it, because she's a queen. She is a mother and protector of the tribe. Like, the way that the song Macavity the Mystery Cat is sung is so important, because it is Demeter and Bombalurina. It is so important because Demeter is this skittish, like, very blatantly afraid of Macavity, like, queen. She is who he tries to kidnap later on in the show. Like, it is integral for them to do Macavity together, but they fucking erased Demeter and they made Bomb a villain. And ooh, I'm mad. I am glad that Taylor Swift was only in like one section really hardcore and then was like basically a background character for the last 5 minutes of the film, because I was really worried that she was going to be in a lot of the film. But I was quite happy that Jason Derulo and Taylor Swift were both kind of like thrown out there as huge names. And Jason Derulo did a really good job. Like, I would rather he had been a bigger part of the show. But I am positive T Swift got signed on to write that song and play this character so they could throw her name on it and be like, come see this because Taylor Swift is in it and you all love her, right? Come watch this show. Come give us much money and pay us for our bills and make us richer because we're fucking Hollywood. I'm positive it was how it happened. And I'm mad at it because they ruined her character. And if you're gonna ruin Bomberina's character, you better make her like a bombshell with like killer vocals, with like so much power and sass in her voice. But no, you have fucking Taylor Swift acting like a bitch. And that's it. Another character they ruined in Cats was Janani Dots. Because they made her a fat joke. I'm sorry. Who the fuck are you? There's not much to say about how they ruined Janani Dots' character. Except for it was disgusting. And when I saw they had cast Rebel Wilson to be Jenny, I knew they were gonna do this. I knew it. I was like, it's gonna be a big old fat joke. And it's gonna be goofy and silly and not this dazzling tap dance number it should be. And not like we're not gonna have the Queen trio being all sassy and amazing and doing little dances, and it's just gonna be a joke. And it was. The only saving grace to that part of the movie was Monkus Drop singing, because you can tell, he genuinely loves this woman. Like, and it was very sweet, and he was very good, and I love him, and he should be protected. Rebel Wilson should stop doing musicals. End of story. Respect her as a plus-size woman. Respect her as a fat girl. Respect her for her comedy, respect her as an actress, respect her as a person. She should not be doing musicals because she deserves better than that, because she's being cast as a fat joke all the time. It makes me mad. Anyway, moving on. Someone said in the chat that there were tempo issues in the film, like with the music, the tempo had changed. It was mostly in memory. They said that it felt faster, and I went and listened to it and then listened to it back to back with the 1998 Elaine Page version. It's not faster. There were some tempo issues. They slowed down bits of it. They slowed down Jellicle songs, Jellicle Cats. They slowed down a couple of other parts. Let's see what's in my other notes. I don't remember. But there were tempo issues, a couple of songs. But like, they weren't like issues. They fixed it, and I know that they changed the tempo for, like, tonal, like, reasons, and I get that. But, yeah, no, there wasn't any, like, tonal issues. There wasn't any, like, tempo changes that, like, really lasted. They did the original version of Uncle Jellicle Teaser. It's very different than the version that we all know, but it was very good. So I'm not going to talk about that because there's no critique for that, because it was fantastic. Yeah, and like I'm really aware of tempo issues. I noticed it when I saw the 2016 revival on tour. I saw it was with McGee Maddox and PJ as Mistopheles. And I noticed that they'd slowed down the tempo a lot. And I don't know why. Probably just for audience clarity, like being able to understand the actors better. And then I really realized it when I saw the Vienna version, and the tempo was like back, like, because the tempo in the 98 film was fast. It's very like hard hitting, which is, it's much more impressive when you think about those fucking dancers and singers up there who are going 5 million miles a minute. But yeah, there weren't tempo issues in the movie that I recognized at all. Except for just like things they did for tonal reasons. But the songs that they slowed down, they usually only slowed down the opening of the song, and then they would pick it up again. So that really didn't hurt anything. So yeah, for the people who actually oh no, Magic Cat Jenny and I had this conversation in the Discord group talking about if there was tempo issues. There wasn't. From the person who went and listened and like really paid attention and really broke it down. I didn't notice any that weren't like warranted because of like a reason that made sense for the film. So if that answers a question you had, I'm glad, but